Hi, this is Doug, your WordPress tutor. We're going to, in this lesson, edit and build our first WordPress page. So let's get going. We'll come down here and open up a Chrome browser and get going. Here's my WordPress login. So we'll get back into WordPress. I'm using Pat's author account here. So Pat D, and my password's automatically filled in because I clicked remember me before. So we log in, and here we are. We're in the basic admin panel. We're on the profile. So we're going to go up here to pages, and we're going to click on pages. You'll notice there's all pages. That's really the same as just clicking on pages itself. And we have two places where we can add a new page. Okay, up here is add new. There's the same button over here. Both of them work. All right, so we click on that, and that takes us into a new page. Now, again, we'll get rid of these notifications over here and just clean up the page a little bit. Okay, so here we are. Now the main thing here is WordPress Bakery Page Builder. And so we have a blank page, and we can start adding content or templates. We're going to work first with some just basic content, show you some of the ropes with that, but we'll also look at using a template. A template basically is a prearranged, you can create your own, but it's a prearranged layout for the page. And we've created some of these, and they're quite useful. Makes it a lot easier to, instead of starting from scratch. But just to keep things simple for a minute, we'll start from scratch. And we're going to just take and add a text block. This is sort of one of the key elements that we have on a page. And so we're going to click Add Text Block. So what that does is that adds a text block to our page. And you can see here is we have a basic block. A block is this gray bar, and it has controls on it up on top. And there are different kinds of controls here. If we move our mouse down into the white area where it says I am text block, click Edit button. The edit button they're talking about is the pencil right here. This always means edit, and this, as you see by the tooltip, it says edit the text block. You see there's another one. Can you see the other edit button? Yes, it's right here up above. This is edit this column. So this changes everything that's within this particular column. What we've defined here is actually a column. Over here, there are some other buttons too. This allows you to drag the row. This is, of course, a block is a column and a row. Or we can specify how many columns should there be. So let's say we want a layout that has two columns, 1/2 by 1/2. Okay, so now we have a text block over here, and we have an empty column that's ready to add something. So let's say I want to put a text block over here. Well, I can click on this plus, and now I get an element. I can select all different kinds of elements. So we could put in another row. Here's a text block, so we just click on text block. All right, and that adds a text block, and now I'm ready to write in any kind of text that I might want at this point. Let's just click on Save Changes. So now you can see, now I've got two columns, okay, and I've got two text blocks. All right. If I want to make another text block, I have another button here. You'll know that you're editing the text block because the green, this little green box of icons shows up. All right, so let's go ahead and edit this text block, and I'm just going to put in hello interior life, and we'll save the changes. There we go. Alright, and let's say I want to clone this. Maybe this is going to be a title. So now I've got another text block down here. Okay, and I can say hello interior life 1, 2. Okay, and we'll save the changes. Alright, let's say I want to also fancy this up a little bit. So you can see this is a paragraph style right here, and I could decide I want this to be a heading. Heading 1 we usually use more for page titles and that type of thing. Here we'll make this a heading 2. Alright, interior life. That you can see that makes that larger. It won't show up. This is called WYSIWYG, but right now we get more of a layout picture. And when we actually view this on the website, this will have a heading 2 style. And whenever you want something larger, like larger headings, we want to use the style picker for heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, etc. Because we can style that globally across the website. That'll be a common element. Alright, let's edit this one. Okay, and instead of this being just a paragraph, let's make this heading 3. Alright. Okay, so now we'll have a number of different kinds of elements in here. And let's say we want to add something else. Maybe we want to have a picture over in this column. So now I'm going to prepend to this column, and over here we have a single image. Okay, now we get we have a title. Okay, and since this is interior life, let's pick up the logo for interior life. Okay. Now we'll find a picture. Let's use this one right here. Okay, so now we set the image. Alright, and that puts the image in here. Okay, from our media library. Alright, now we can change the image size. Let's say we want something, and we have these down here, you see it says enter image size, thumbnail, medium, large, full. And you can actually specify other sizes that the theme defines, but those are the ones we'll use. So instead of a thumbnail, let's use a medium size. We have a half column, so that's probably more medium. We can always come back and change this. You have to be careful. Make sure that these are spelled exactly like the examples here. Those are known names. They can't be capitalized or anything like that. And we'll center this in the column. Okay, so we're going to save those changes. And let's change the text box here to say, in the other world, there is a land of mystery, sea of tranquility, and a mountain of care. There we go. Going to save those changes. Alright, so we've edited our text. Okay, we have 2 different columns. Now let's save this and see what it looks like on the website. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is over here hit publish. Okay, and now we're going to preview the changes. So what this does is open up a new tab. Hey, there it is right there. In the other world, there's a land of mystery, etc., etc. Here's our picture that we pulled from the media library. Here's our other column over here. And up here, we never made a title for the page, so we're going to have to do that. These are the what's called the breadcrumbs. So basically, this shows us we're in the archive collection Interior Life, and we haven't titled this page at all, but that's all right. We're just looking to see what does it look like. Okay, so back over to this tab, and we can go back to our editor. So let's put in. This is going to, we already have a page called Other World, so I'm going to label this one the New Other World. Okay, there we go. I think we're basically set with that page for now. This is an Interior Life page. We have a title now, and everything is kind of ready to go. Okay, so let's update this again. So there we are, we updated it. We have the New Other World. Okay, very good. So now let's also preview this. Now you notice when I roll the screen up, when I scroll the screen up over here, that we also have the title of the editor shows up here, and we have preview and we have update. So again, we can update the page, and you always want to update the page. That actually saves the page, the update does. And then there's a preview button here. This title bar disappears, it shrinks back to the main page here. There's still a, here's a preview changes here under publish. We can use that. You see the status now is published because we published it from the editor. So we hit preview changes. That reloads the page over here. We can click on that here. Now we have a title, The New Other World. Once we get a subtitle in here in a future lesson, that'll push this breadcrumbs down so it's more visible. So one thing when you're creating a page, you want to have a title and a subtitle. All right, so that does those changes. This is real simple right now, but this is all the basic kind of editing that you need. Let's say that I want to do something a little different with this column, and I want to add a different element in here than just simply a text block. Okay, so we're going to open this up. Let's see if we can, there's a nice feature here called tabs. Okay, and I'm going to put old tabs in here. Now what this does is give us a tab so we can have like content that you can get to that's a tab. So we're going to take, and I'm going to drag and move this text block down into here. Okay, that's going to be on tab 1. And then on tab 2, we're going to have this text block, which says Hello Interior Life. Okay, so now I've got two tabs. I've got one that says Hello Interior Life, and let's edit this text block. Okay, and let's call this dash tab 1. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that this is all, this is all heading 2. Okay, and then Hello Interior Life, let's edit this one. And this is Hello Interior Life dash tab 2. Okay, and let's make this all, instead of heading 3, let's change this back to heading 2. Okay, so there we go. Now we can also edit using this. Now we have, here's the old tab. we can actually edit this tab. Like I want to change the tab here, the name of the tab. Okay, and so this is going to be IL-1, for example. Okay, so now it's named that, and we can go over to tab 2 and we edit it here, and this is going to be IL-2. Okay, we're going to save those changes. Okay, so now what I did was I added a tab element in here, and we took that text and we made it 2 different tabs. Okay, so here's tab 1 and tab 2. Alright, let's update this. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, and let's go to preview changes. Okay, so it's reloading our page. And now we can see, okay, now I got 2 tabs. Here's tab 1 and here's tab 2. So now I've got tabs here. This looks a little funny, so let's go back and edit. There's a couple of more things we can change on our tabs. So if we go back and we edit now we edit the blue tab. This is the whole tab container. Okay, and I'm going to edit that. And here we have a different style. Right now we have horizontal center tabs. I'm going to make it boxed, which automatically puts the tabs on the left and shades them so that we can see it. So the tabs look more like what we've got here. Okay, so we're going to save this. Let's update this. Alright, and then we can go back and look at preview. We have to hit preview changes. Okay, that reloads the page. Now see, here we have our tabs, and it shows us where the tab is. Okay, and we have the 2 different content. So we have some pretty interesting ways to organize content. We have columns that we can create. We could add another column down here so that we start out with these 2 columns of text, and then we actually have a new text block. Okay, now this is a full page column. Get rid of this. Okay, so now we have another text block down here that is full page. Let's update this. Same as this update button, doesn't matter which one you hit. Now you can see those again if you scroll the page up. Now we have both of them here. We hit preview. That reloads the page. And we go over here. Okay, so see, now here's our 2 tabs. Okay, and here's our picture. Here's the text that was above the picture, and here's the text below both columns. So we have a 2-column beginning, and then we have another layer down here. Alright, let's go back to the editor. Alright, so you can see this, this is what a block editor does. It allows us to work with blocks. The nice thing is, let's say, for example, for some reason we wanted this block, we wanted to swap these 2 blocks. Okay, so you can click on the and drag it over like that. Alright, that allows you to swap these 2 columns around. If we want this single text to be at the top, we can grab the handle here and then move that up, and that reorganizes it that way. When you've got these 2 columns like this, it's easy to just click here and then drag it around that way. This one's harder, doesn't work well because of the way that this is organized. Okay, so there's a lot of other elements. You can get back to the elements. Any of these pluses that you click on, that's going to allow you to add an element. Okay, so for example, one of the elements that I want to add is right here after this text. I'd like some space. Okay, so there's empty space is an element, and it's automatically 32 pixels, which is about a single line. And so now we have empty space here. This is where the cloning button really comes in handy, because you can clone a bunch of empty space elements. Then you can grab them and drag them around and insert them in useful places. Like maybe it'd be good to have some space in between this picture and the text that describes it up above. So here I've got 2 lines of empty space. Let's see what this looks like. We'll update this. Alright, and then let's go to preview changes. It's reloading the page. Alright, we click on that. So now you can see, now we've got some empty space up here. That was there, but now we have good empty space in between this first column, or first row of text. Here we have some space in between things. That works out nicely here. Here we've got our 2 tabs. Okay, and things are starting to shape up. Alright, so now the next thing is, let's say for some reason I'd like to have this block, which has this picture and the empty space, and I want to highlight the background of this in some way. So basically we have edit controls that allow us to deal with this tab. Okay, so these are the edit tools for this whole row, which has 2 columns in it. This allows us to edit the properties of just this box, this little pencil right here. So those are the column settings. Oh, we could have a video background. Wouldn't that be interesting? We could put video in there. But we also have design options. Okay, so one of the things is we can have a different color. So we could choose, let's make this kind of a lighter brown background color to give that a kind of interesting highlight. Okay, the other thing we can do is we can put some padding around the column. Okay, so we could put in like 5 pixels on either side. That's the padding of the content around that. So let's save these changes. Okay, let's update that. Alright, and then let's go to preview those changes. So reload the page. And let's see. There we go. Now we've got a background. And we've got padding. It's only 5 pixels, which isn't much. We could decide to have even more padding around that. We could also decide to put a border around that to highlight it in some way. So let's go back. Okay, here we are. We're going to deal with this. We're going to edit the properties of this column. And we're going to look at the design options. Oh, those are row settings. No, we want column. Now, here we go. That's the row settings. Here's the column settings. Okay, so for these column settings, we went to design options. Okay, so here's where we have our 5 pixels. We don't have a border color, so that's the border color we're going to choose. Okay, the border style. See, we have a lot of different styles. We'll leave it solid. Okay, the border radius. This describes how big the border is going to be. Probably 2 pixels will be enough. We'll leave it like that. We wanted to make the actual border a bit broader than just 5 pixels. So let's double this. Let's make this 10. Well, we have to delete what was there. So this is 10 pixels. Let's make this one 10 as well. Ten pixels here, and 10 pixels here. Okay, that gives us some more padding around the pictures. And the border radius. Well, here's our border. We may need to make this, we may need to provide some space here for the border. So let's put in 2 here, 2, 2, 2. Otherwise, we may not have any area for the border to show up. On border color, I lost my border color. Okay. Theme defaults, we'll make it solid. Okay, now save changes. Alright, let's update this. And let's preview the changes. There we go, now we've got a border around, and we have a colorized background. That looks pretty nice. I like that effect. Okay, so this gives you an idea of how to really be creative in the kind of things that you can do with layout and styling the background and that type of thing. Alright, I think that's enough for a beginning lesson in adding and editing pages. We'll continue with a more advanced tutorial. We'll look at actually building menus and other things in future tutorials. But I think that's enough for this particular lesson. Have fun. Practice building pages. We'll want to address some other things that are more practical. For example, copying and pasting from Google Chrome. But this gives you an idea of the basic tools for editing.